Hello, folks. Lots of things coming out from the question and answer session in Parliament. Again, this is why it's not a republic like the United States is. It's a parliamentary system in South Africa. We don't have our president answer questions in Congress. That's just silly. Presidents don't answer to legislatures in that fashion. But in a parliamentary system, prime ministers do. So in essence, Ramaphosa is really a prime minister, just called a president. But he does have executive authority like a president, so it's kind of confusing South Africa's democracy. Nonetheless, in his question and answer session, which something like we would call prime minister's minutes, in the UK. But anyway, in his question and answer session on the 11th of March, people said a lot of things about it, but it was a long session. I haven't had time to listen to all of it, but I did get this piece, him talking about just how important AGOA is to the United States. Well, let's listen to what Cyril has to say, but I don't mean to rubbish what he has to say, but he's very mistaken if he thinks he has bargaining power with AGOA. AGOA does nothing for the United States. It's about soft power. It's about influencing African countries to adhere to democratic governance and respect human rights and that sort of thing, and respect private property rights. Obviously, it's not working in the case of South Africa, where the Expropriation Without Compensation Act has been passed in violation of Section 25 of the South African Constitution, therefore making it unconstitutional. But no one's even talking about the unconstitutionality of that act. They're just talking about Afro-Forum solidarity and calling them treasonous. Utter nonsense, of course. There's nothing to that. It's just a bunch of smoke. And calling Donald Trump names and calling Elon Musk names and ignoring the fact that this is unconstitutional and that by signing that act into law, Cyril Ramaphosa invalidated South Africa's participation in the Africa Growth and Opportunity Act. A key component of that act is respect for private property rights. And this is not respect for private property rights. And you can't sit here and dance and play the song about, well, historical inequities and injustices. That's nonsense. That doesn't give you the right to obviate what's going on here. So let's listen in a little bit to what Cyril has to say about the relationship and why AGOA is important.
We want to continue trading with the United States because we sell minerals, we sell vehicles, we sell agricultural products to them. So we do not take the opportunity that we have, as it is called, Africa Growth Opportunity Initiative. We don't take that opportunity lightly.
All right, a free pass to Cyril. I mean, we all get caught up in the moment there, particularly answering questions in a situation like this. It's the Africa Growth and Opportunity Act, not an initiative, but anyway, not going to quibble with him, but give him a fair free pass on that one. And I appreciate that you're not taking it lightly. And yes, we do trade. Our total two-way trade relationship is about $20 billion per year with a surplus for South Africa. And yes, you benefit immensely from it. Hundreds of thousands of jobs in South Africa are tied to the Africa Growth and Opportunity Act. It's not something that particularly benefits the U.S. And your minerals are replaceable. There's no strategic minerals of any value or importance that South Africa ships to America. The total amount of mineral exports to the U.S. was $430 million. Million, not billion. $430 million in a $30 trillion a year economy is not even a drop in the bucket. It's not even a rounding error. It's not something way out there as a relationship. And none of that material is critical. It's not like you ship us coltan or something like that. Cobalt, you could put all the cobalt sold from South Africa to the United States in my backyard in containers. Platinum is important, but it's decreasing in its value of importance to the industry over the years. Rare earth elements, you ship no rare earth elements. We don't get coal from South Africa. We have more coal than we can shake a stick at. So I think that his advisors need to better inform President Cyril Ramaphosa, because the value of AGOA to the United States is nothing. The purpose of AGOA was to get African governments to adhere to norms and respect for human rights and respect for property rights. But clearly, inclusion in AGOA has not encouraged South Africa to govern legitimately. In fact, the ANC is governing illegitimately by violating the Constitution. So let's hear a little bit more from Cyril.
We want to also demonstrate that, yes, we have value to add. As you may want to know, when I spoke to President Trump, when he was president-elect, congratulating him, I informed him that we value participating in AGOA, but I also informed him that we also sell critical minerals to the United States, and the relationship is fairly balanced.
The relationship is balanced, not even remotely. Not even remotely. Trade with South Africa is virtually non-existent, unimportant to the United States. It is the biggest trade we have in Africa, but so what? It's critically important to South Africa, absolutely. So, not rubbishing the trade, but the bottom line here is that it won't have a major impact in the United States if something were to happen, like, say, sanctions or an embargo. It would be devastating for South Africa, however. But Cyril Ramaphosa is trying to play this as if we have mutual standing, as if we're on the same playing field. We're not. We're not, Cyril. You're not on the same playing field here. Really, honestly. That's not an insult. It's a statement of fact, my friend. A statement of fact.
Many workers benefit from our AGOA participation, but at the same time, many other American workers also benefit from what we sell to AGOA. So it is balanced, and we want to see that balance and the mutual benefit carrying on into the future.
Well, I agree there's mutual benefit, but the mutual benefit for the United States is soft power in getting South Africa's government to govern democratically, legitimately, and adhering to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and to its Constitution, which you're not doing. So the benefit for us has disappeared. We have no reciprocity in this agreement. So you notice it's not mutual benefit. There's no reciprocity. When you impose 75% tariffs on our chicken exports to South Africa, what's that all about? You have duty-free access to the tune of $3 billion per year of your goods coming into America. So where's the reciprocity? There is none. We don't get duty-free access to your marketplace. All we are supposed to get is good governance. And when you are going to confiscate land, which is what the expropriation without compensation bill allows for, and now you've announced that you're going to steal buildings in Johannesburg that have been abandoned. They've been abandoned because people moved into the buildings and they chased the owners out. High crime. The police did nothing to respond. The owners tried to evict them. They're prevented from evicting by South African law. And then you declare the building is abandoned. It's not abandoned. The owners have been denied their property rights because the government didn't protect them. And now you're going to use that as an excuse to take the property. So confiscation is about to take place in South Africa, despite your protestations to the contrary. So yes, mutually beneficial? No, it's not. It's a disaster for South Africa to lose AGOA. But AGOA is going to be gone anyway, most likely. There's not a lot of appetite for continuing the Africa Growth and Opportunity Act in Congress this year. It's up for renewal in 2025. So you'll probably lose it regardless of your actions, and that might be why Trump hasn't punished you yet. But quite frankly, South Africa is illegally in the Africa Growth and Opportunity Act right now and shouldn't be in it. Should be removed because you are not adhering to the legal standards that are in place. And I don't want to hear about South Africa as a sovereign nation. You are, and you signed up to this agreement, and you can leave at any time. But your participation in it is contingent on certain agreements, which you have abrogated now. You no longer respect private property rights. You're going to confiscate land for a political purpose, not in the public interest. So I'm sorry, Cyril. We just don't agree on that point. And South Africa is going to suffer immensely. Hundreds of thousands of South Africans will lose their jobs, and it will be a major detriment to your economy. Trade with the U.S. is 4% of your GDP. 4%. 4%. Can you afford to lose 4% of your GDP? I don't think so in an economy that's stagnant and not growing. You need 6.5% GDP growth year after year, and you're not getting it. What say you, South Africa? Cheers.